Hello, everybody. It's another week. I'm so grateful to be here today because Monday I was under the weather. So I've done everything known to man to be able to be here today and share with you some wonderful more information. We're still going to work on that uh, inner voice, the critic, the warden, whatever you want to call it. And it's a process, and it's not something that you can do overnight. So we'll be addressing that periodically uh, as we go through the podcast. And towards the end of the last half an hour, 20 minutes, I'm going to do your hallmark, which are your initials that are on your birth certificate. And that's part of your soul uh, story in numerology. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit. I've been had the pleasure of meeting in person a name that a lot of you may not even know, but you know this the people that impacted me the most wrote books, did appearances, and this one was Zig Ziglar. And I don't know if any of you, and I'm sure that there's many that never heard of Zig Ziglar, but if you can get and research him, and I'm sure there's things on YouTube, but the man really impressed me as I was working on my inside voice and becoming a positive thinker and looking for what's right instead of what's wrong in my life. Earl Nightingale was another one, and Louis Timberlake. But Zig Ziglar had a persona. He was way before Tony Robbins, um, and he just impressed me. And one of the things that he said that really to this day I use: do a checkup from the neck up. Try that for 30 days. What are you thinking? What's that inside voice saying? Is it your cheerleader? Nope. Is it your best friend? Nope. And I don't know if you've been taking notes of how you're talking to yourself or sabotaging yourself. That's another kicker. So that's the 30 days of awareness that I learned from Zig because it takes commitment, really. And how do you conquer that inside voice? Now, this is the best part. Is that once you're aware of what you're saying, um, I'll give you an example. Let's say my inside voice says, "Geez, Joanne, that was a stupid thing to do," and I have to catch it and say, "Well, not true. The next time I'm going to do it a little bit differently." You see, I haven't destroyed myself. I haven't knocked myself down, but I became aware and I corrected the inside voice. After you keep doing that, when you catch that inside voice to say not true and restate a positive turnaround, guess what? In time, your inside voice doesn't even exist. Or if it does come up, boy, you catch it real quick because it's the more you use it, the more it becomes part of you. And it's not something that they ever teach in school. And I would love to do this with children. Um, you know, uh, the a teacher can ruin a kid's self-esteem real quick. Take little Johnny creating his artwork or whatever, and oh boy, that's really bad. Well, he could have been an artist or whatever because now he's got that registered here. Well, what's the use of trying here? I'm not good at that, and it's not true. You just keep at it till you find your niche. But it gets to our first slide. If Tiffany wants to bring that up for us, because this slides right into Zig. If you change the way you think and you change the way you talk, and when you change the way you talk, you will change the way you act. Thoughts are things, and thoughts become things. Good, bad, indifferent is how you spin it or how you pay attention to it. The next one, Tiff, this is a good one. And I like this one because this is stuff they don't teach you in school, and I wish they would. But 12 steps to self care. If it feels wrong, don't do it. That's listening to your gut. Say exactly what you mean. Mean what you say what you mean. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of that. Don't be a people pleaser. If you are a people pleaser, I guarantee you that you have just put yourself in the back seat. It's, you sacrifice some of your feelings or your thoughts or your boundaries or whatever because you want to please and make somebody else comfortable. Number 4, trust your instincts. Don't question it because usually your inner voice, your guardian angel, is got your back. So trust your instincts. Never speak bad about yourself. Catch yourself. I've done, I'm not asking you to do anything I haven't done myself. Oops, I don't know what I did here. Hold on. Can you, I don't know how that happened. There we go. Never speak bad about yourself. Catch yourself calling yourself names or criticizing yourself and putting yourself down. We're not meant to be perfect. We're a work in progress. That's what we are. We're here to learn and grow. I don't care what age you are. I'm 78 years old. I'm going to learn something today that I didn't know yesterday. Never give up on your dreams. Never. Everything's possible. It's just that sometimes we have to reset the time frame, but that doesn't mean you give up. Don't be afraid to say no. In all the readings I've done for 45 years, I've talked to many parents, grandparents, kids, or whatever, and I'd always say, what is it that you don't understand? Is it the N or the O? And not feel guilty about it. See, guilt is a useless emotion. You have to do something wrong in order to feel guilty. I don't do guilt if I didn't do something wrong. I'm not afraid to own it. Say, geez, I'm really sorry. I didn't, I didn't, I didn't mean it that way, or it was interpreted differently, but that was not my intent. So don't be afraid to say no. There's a lot of ways to say no. Not at this time. I'll take a rain check. Um, or and oh no, be kind to yourself. People, most people, not everybody, but most people will sacrifice themselves to be kind to everybody, and they're on the back seat of the bus. You first. When you love yourself and you're kind to yourself, that's what God intended you to be, your little soul. Let go of what you can't control. Boy, that's a good one. It's kind of like try to get in a car without a shifter. You can't control that car, could you? It's the same thing with life. Let go of what you can't control. There, and I can tell you this, and I have been fortunate in working many expos and met hundreds of people. And one thing that I can absolutely say that I have never, and doing charts, families, personal charts, soul charts, I've never met a happy perfectionist. Never. I mean, their whole day is controlled by being perfect, or this has to be in this place, or that has to be just like that, or why did they say that? It's torture. Nothing's perfect. There's no perfect mother, father, sister, brother, teacher, boss, job, partnership. Nothing's perfect. We're all a work in progress. That's what we are. I learned something today that I didn't know yesterday about me or a situation. Stay away from drama and negativity. And that's what we've really been talking about here. To thy own self be true. Put that on your refrigerator because they didn't teach you that in kindergarten. To thy own self be true. Or that sounds egotistical. Or that's narcissistic. I absolutely hate that word narcissistic. Oh, that person's narcissistic. Well, who are we to be the judge and the jury? I'm not. And number 12 is love. Love. Love starts with you. You got to love yourself first. And then everybody else that's in your circle, outside your circle, we have many different levels in our circle. You got to start with you first. Look in that mirror and say, I love you. That was hard for me to do when I learned that in my studies of the game of life and how to play it and how to heal yourself. It's doing that mirror work. It's not about, oh, I don't like the shape of my eyebrows or, I don't like that mole there or whatever. Criticizing ourselves. All right, the next one, Tiffany, please. 10 ways to be assertive. And this is taking ownership too. Be decisive. Procrastination will kill you, really, truly. You know, and the best way that I deal with my clients in procrastination is you get that sheet of paper out and you do your pros and your cons. It really, really helps you be decisive. Number 2, I'm only responsible for me and how I act and what I say and what I do. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I'm a work in progress. I'm going to learn something today that I didn't know yesterday. That is my motto. Here we go. Number 3, very important. Say NO when you need to. People stumble over that word NO. Not something I care to do, or that's something that doesn't interest me. That's a no too. There's a lot of ways to say no. And to say no without feeling guilty. Guilt is a useless emotion. You have to do something wrong in order to feel guilty. So people feel, oh, if I say no, I feel guilty. Really? Well, what did you do? Rob a bank, commit murder, or what? No. NO means no. Not at this time. Take a rain check. It's really something that I'm not interested in. That's a no, too. Number 4, be an attentive listener. You learn something sometimes just by being a good listener. Number 5, communicate clearly. And this is something I want to go back to that I had said, I think, in my first podcast, is that you have to learn to speak in terms of I, because there's no fight or dispute when you use I. When that was said, I was hurt. When that happened, I was embarrassed. When that was said, I was disappointed. I felt left out. I. There's no, you're in your own shoes. You got to learn to stand strong in your shoes. So communicating clearly is very, very important. Use the I statement. They don't teach you that in school either. Number 6, say yes when you need to. Yes. That's such a beautiful word. When it is your decision. when it is for your greatest and highest good. Number 7, ask for what you want. A lot of people hesitate. Say, "Oh, I can't ask for that. I would feel uncomfortable." Really? Well, it'd be like, let's say you're gonna go to lunch with somebody that you hardly know, but you made it. It's either a business, it could be a business thing, it could be a personal thing, it could be a date, it could be a new friend, and you sit there and say nothing. And that person on the other end is going, "Wow, what do they like? What's up? What's down? What's in? What's out? What's their favorite color?" I mean, you communications are breakfast champions here. Okay, people will never know what you want if you don't learn to communicate. Number 8, follow your intuition. And I'll say this to you to think back to the times when you didn't follow that gut feeling. You know, it's kind of like I always use this when I'm dealing with my clients. It's like you're driving your car and the GPS is saying in a quarter mile you're going to turn right. Okay, then you get up to the couple blocks, turn right, turn right, turn right. But your gut is saying no. Mm-mm. You're going to turn right, or are you going to go straight or turn left? Well, then you find out, well, geez, if I would have turned right, I would have ran into a roadblock. You hear that later on, and you go, oh, I should have listened to my intuition, because you turned right and you didn't listen. Feel free to take a chance. Hesitation will definitely thwart any blessing. It could be a blessing if you don't take a chance. Uh, don't look for what's wrong first. You know, look what's possible. What else is possible? That's my motto. What else is possible? And number 10, I'd say 8 out of 10 people need to work on number 10, to stand up for yourself. And then again, if you stand up for yourself, you use the I term. I understand. I'm just not on that page. You can disagree. I can agree to disagree. Stand up for yourself. There's nothing wrong with agreeing to disagree. It's not a fight. I hear what you're saying. I'm just not on that page. I hear what you're saying. I'm having I don't accept that. You were meant to be special. God makes us all special. It's just that life throws you curveballs, and some of the input that you've had or relationships that you've had have either given you some sort of blips, the blips of not standing up for yourself, the blips of not saying no, the blips of not saying yes because you're afraid, the blips when you haven't followed your intuition. Okay, next one. Thank you, Tiff. You know, this came to me um, when that song came out, "Shake It Off," right? And I was giving a talk, and I came up with these things here um, of things that have come across my notes or some of my talks I've given over the years, and I put it on the sheet of paper. And I gave this talk, and so it's to that tune. If you could think of the music, "Shake It Off," but it's steps to enrich, enlighten your heart, mind, and your soul. Learning to let go, quit dragging all the and I'm guilty. This is things that I've had to practice too. of letting go bitterness. Hmm? Bitterness can come from being uh, through some hardships, relationships, could be teachers, could be parents, could be relatives, could be school, disappointments, moving forward, or being heartbroken. So you got to let that go. Divorce, I know that one. But you have to look at the other side of that and what else. What is it? You have to have a non negotiable list of what you truly want because you should have learned a lesson from that particular relationship. And having a non negotiable list, which we'll get into at some conjuncture in one of our podcasts. Uh, Letting go hurts, rejection, loss, feeling sorry for yourself, loss of a loved one. What positive changes can you take to heal that? Well, first of all, is love is possible. Loving yourself, loving that you woke up today, love that we have the next week to look forward to, love that we're going to set some new goals. But loving yourself is number one. Positive changes to heal. Expect God's goodness. With God, all things are possible. And that's a fact. And you have to, of course, have faith. Get a new attitude. It's a stepping stone. I like that one too. Look out the windshield and look in the rear view mirror. It's your past. You don't live in the past. You use it as a step up. When it's over and done, let it go. What did I learn from that experience? Don't live in fear. We can be defeated or we can push forward. Affirm this or something better. And this is one of my favorite ones from Lewis Timberlake, who was a very powerful teacher and speaker. Hurt people. Hurt people. Boy, is that the truth. Hurt people, hurt people. Staying stuck is a choice. Bitterness will rob your joy and your miracles. And expect something better is the final. What else is possible? That's the next step. All right, Tiffany, the next one. Trade your fears for courage. Trade your regrets for lessons learned. These are powerful tools. So put these in your little toolbox from Joanne Leo. Trade your worries for surrender. Surrender to the positive. What else is possible? Use that. Use your toolbox. Trade your doubts for trust. Trust yourself first. But is the critic involved here? Or are you present? Trade your sorrows for joy. Look for the good. Look for what's positive in your life when you're in sorrow. Your anger for compassion. Trade your sorrows for joy, your anger for compassion. And without even realizing it, you'll have traded your misery for happiness. I like that. So that's the life trade. The next one, Tiff. Boy, this is true. Life kicks you around sometimes. It scares you and it beats you up. But there's a day when you realize that you're not just a survivor, you're a warrior. You're tougher than anything it throws your way, and you are. And you are. I love that one because that's really my motto. And last but not least, this is goes excuse me, bear with me. This goes with your inside critic, the critic. Nothing binds you except your thoughts. Nothing limits you except your fears. And nothing controls you except your beliefs. Nothing. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that little pass out today. Um, I'm going to refer to Tough Times Never Last, what tough people do periodically in our sessions. But I like this because this kind of sums up exactly where we are today. If it's if it's going to be, it's up to me. If it's going to be successful, if it's going to be a turnaround, if it's going to be that I'm going to apply some of these principles, it's up to me. Um, so tough times never last, but tough people do. This is a great book. I don't know if it's in print. Tiffany and I were talking that there are some resellers or whatever where you might be able to find it, but it's a really good tool book, let me tell you. Um, so we talked last week on many, many inside things here, but we cannot let people judge us, okay? And sometimes we can be the judge and the jury to ourselves, but it really doesn't matter on people's judgment because maybe they don't have all the facts, okay? So we can't let, that old expression, don't let the turkeys get you down, right? Um, that's important. Um, Also, too, working on that inside voice, the more you become aware and the more you say not true, the stronger and healthier you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually will you be successful. And it's not something that can be done overnight. It took me a long time, but I had a great teacher, and she would call me out. I'd say something. She'd go, that's negative. Cancel that. Restate it. Over and over, she would do that to me. So it took a long time. But when the day that I realized that I was free from that torture, that warden, that critic, was the day that I felt like I was reborn, really. And the day that I stopped judging myself in a negative way and restating it to a positive when I would say something negative, it became almost like a second nature. So today, what we're going to do, I'm going to, I am a master numerologist, and there's so many different pieces to a chart. So today, we're going to do your hallmark. And your hallmark is your initials. And they tell a little story too. And I'll try to connect, if we, try to connect what's going on this year too with your hallmarks. And it's a download from heaven, so this is not in a book somewhere. Okay. And if we have enough time, then I will do some archangel cards. Okay. All right. So Tiffany's going to put up here the hallmarks, and we have Jill, which is JSS. Now, first of all, J, the J that Jill has, same as me. We are very strong, but yet when you think about it, we haven't always had the easiest rodeo, or uh, we have to be mindful not to look at the past to define us. Okay, but God's very good when you were up there making your little chart, Jill, because you've got your SS there, which gives you the way to figure things out, makes you strong, and makes you a survivor here. So it works out to be a 3, and that's somebody who uh, is a great communicator, is somebody that really loves a good sense of humor. Um, it's it's someone that's very creative in so many different ways. If you chose to pick up a hobby or whatever, um, and it's somebody that usually what I have seen in a lot of charts that I've done, excuse me, a lot of actors and musicians, artists have that caricature in their chart. Now, also, 2026 is a 10, which makes this a very powerful year. And so, with your hallmark, which is really kind of cool, think about years ago, people would put their hallmark on their cuffs, or they would have it in jewelry or a ring, initial rings or whatever. It was a very powerful statement. So I hope we get back to that. I think that is so kind of really cool. And I wanted to share my cup with you today. Without faith, miracles can't happen. So I got to take a little sip here. Bear with me. So there you go, Jill. I think this is going to be a year where you're going to have to work towards your goals. This is a year of working towards your goals. Okie dokie. Now we have Roy. That's a new one. So a lot of sensitive issues coming up this year, Roy. A lot of people see you, the Rock of Gibraltar, but a lot of people don't know that this Rock of Gibraltar is really sensitive. Um, and don't be afraid to embrace that as well. But then you've got your A there, which kind of really shores up your sensitivity. Um, and you've got your H there, which makes you a leader and makes you very strong. You're the guy that people will probably lean on more so. Um, Logic, common sense. So you're in a kind of like a new beginning for the next 8 years that are coming up and wrapping up. So I would definitely look into putting your goals down. The power from the hand to the paper is very powerful. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't need to. I have them up here." I just shake my head when people do that. There's absolutely no way of accomplishing that. None. Zero. It has to be written. The power from your hand to your brain, there's nothing like it. And journaling is a very important thing too. So written goals and be very powerful. So I know that this is going to be um, an interesting year. It might be a little tough, but lots of decisions. You're the guy for it anyway. Okay, now we have Nancy. Well, Nancy, there we go. It's another thing of I love that sizzle you have. Okay, that's your N. It's your outgoingness, your sizzle, you can go into any particular place, and you're the person that at least stands strong in your shoes. Um, when and you're a natural born communicator. I don't know if you ever were like in sales or you worked with them a lot of different people where your personality had to come through. Oh dear, hold on. Where your personality had to come through, but you could do it, honey. You could shine. And then there's another part of you that's very organized and you don't like surprises. So it's really funny because you got all this sizzle, but yet you're like, I want the straight and narrow, and I want the I's dotted and the T's crossed. And you don't want, I would never throw you a surprise party. I could tell you that. So we have a 5, 3, 8, 4. So we got a 3, 1, and this is a year of organizations, being practical, doing things, outlining things. Your home is a big thing for you this year, um, and also setting goals and organizing. Okay, so there you go, Nancy. All right, Ruth. Well, there you are. There's that RAH. So we got 918. That's double nines. You're the healer, the shaman, the wizard, so to speak. Very sensitive, very compassionate. You have to be careful though, being compassionate, because you've got to have some division, some line that people can't cross, because you're very giving, very loving. You've done this in many lifetimes too. You're and then you've got your A there, which is the leader, the person with new ideas, the person that uh, kind of blazes the trails. Uh, it's like the Pied Piper. Come on, I've got this great system or idea here. Come on along. And with that H gives you the ability to make it happen, bring it to the forefront, making things popular or significant or successful. And so now we've got it with the year, this year, it's blazing the trail. You're in a one cycle that with your hallmark, where you can utilize that to get those projects off the table and out, get them all finished of what you choose to do here. And also be careful that, when we're empaths or people say I'm an empath or whatever, you've got to be careful because you've got to have a check and balance kind of thing here. Okay. So I leave you with that. Okay, Patty. Well, you're a girl that likes things in order. Is that correct, Patty? I would think. And you're very smart. I would say that you're the type of person that's a great problem solver. If I had a haystack and I threw 5 needles in it, I'd put money on you because you're the type of person that would never quit until you found all those 5 needles. I would put money on you. Um, you've got a way about you that's very, I want to say, kind, but yet by the same token, you draw your lines of what's acceptable and what's not. You're not going to waver from that at all. Um, there's a thing about you that what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And I hope to goodness that I'm on the mark there for you, Patty. Um, but don't be so hard on yourself, okay? Because you are very, very uh, distinct on what you like, what you don't like, what's right, what's wrong, what's up, what's down, to the nth degree. So you've got to cut yourself a little slack too. See. There's at some point throughout this year, you got to put a wrap on something, or you got to finalize it. There'll be something that'll come up that you need to. This word, excuse me. Think I don't know how that's happening, but anyway, um, you got to put a wrap on it. You're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to put a wrap on it. But all in all, I think it's going to be really good. It's kind of like what I feel like is going on for you this year. It's like going up in the attic that you haven't been up in for years and years. And what's a keeper? Let me think about this pile over here. And this is definitely going. So that'll be about people, places, and things for you this year. All right, honey. Laura, look at that. 3 L's. Creative to the, oh my goodness gracious. Uh, Ideas, creativity, natural born communicator, um, just a lovable person. And the thing is that you've got to put the prayer for protection around you because you're so giving and loving. The prayer for protection that I use every day, and I'll share it with you all, is the light of God surrounds me, the love of God enfolds me, the power of God protects me, and the presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. So I would definitely use that, Laura. Uh, Creativity, communication. Um, you just got it, kid. This is a brand new cycle for you as well for the next 8 years. So this is a good time to goal set. It's a good time to get your projects going or whatever you're going to do. Um, it's communication, it's creativity, or if you may be communicating through your creativity, but I say go for it. And then we have Carol. So Carol, there you go. You got the gift of communication, creativity, but you are very, very strong. And I mean, you stand strong in your shoes. It's like, they can't move me. If I make up my mind for something, that's it. And, but by the same token, too, you, you are a leader of, or can direct. So it starts with you, too. Um, and you love your family, your home. Yeah, that's where you take the greatest comfort, I would say, but also to where you can use your creativity there too. I don't know if you have a home office or not, but it would stand to reason that you get your great creative juices there. I would definitely um, look at that. And then we have GMC. I don't know what your first name is, but anywho, um, well, this is a person that loves everything organized. Everything is in order. This is someone who loves their home, takes great pride in their home, whether it comes to work, relationships, whatever. Everything is really in order. This is another person I would never throw a surprise party for, never. Um, this is a person that if you give this person something, they will make it the best because they're plotters and organizers and everything has to make sense. Don't throw them a surprise party though. Not going to happen. It would not be a great thing. Let's see here. Also, creativity. Along with this order, that's really a great combination because this is someone that if they make up their mind to do a job or to a project or even, you know, cooking a meal, the, it's all organized, but it's creative. I mean, let me throw a little of this and a little of that, and oh wow, and it comes out fabulous. As far as the year goes, I think um, I lost it here. Let's see, we got a 4-4. As far as the years go, it's a brand new beginning for 8-year cycle too, which is really, really good. Oh, thanks, Jill. That's great. Feeling all right. We go through our goals on paper. Excellent. It's great when you can cross off your goals. Now, I want to talk about goals for a minute, which I do with my clients. You know, when you have goals, you can do them for the year, and you can do a 5-year goal thing too, which is kind of cool. But if you're going to do your year goals, I do 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. And the great thing is, it's like, let's say you've got your 3 month goals and you want to cross off the list. Well, let's say you get 4 of the 5 that were in your 3 month goals. Well, just slide that baby over to 6 months. There's no failure here. We're just reapplying it to the 6 month. It's not a big deal. But the great thing is when you get and you can accomplish your goals. But written, the power from the hand to the brain, nothing beats it. And it's hard today with a computer. It's not the same. You got to get out the paper, you got to get out the pen, and you got to hand write it. It's not connecting the computer to the piece of paper for your goals. It's just it's not, your soul's not in that computer. Carol says, thinking. Oh, you're perfect for that. Well, start blessing your receipts every day. Thank you, God. Let's see. Let me think of my prosperity prayer. Thank you, Father, for this great abundance that is mine. May it go out to feed the hungry, clothe the needy, do great good, and come back to me 10,000 fold. When I owned a business, I took those receipts, those deposits, and that's what I did. Thank you, Father, for this great abundance that is mine. May it go out to feed the hungry, clothe the needy, and do great good. Try that. All right, that sounds really good. Oh, that's great, Ruth. Well, you know what? You've got it, kid. So get on those projects, make them happen because you got the sizzle. You got the sizzle to do it. So I've got these archangel cards, and I brought those along today. Last week we used the spirit animal cards, which I truly love. But I've got so many decks, and I thought, well, look, what are we going to do today? And I thought, well, there's nothing wrong with archangels, so let's see what we come up with. I'm going to just cut it in the middle here. Oh, look at this. Peace. Who doesn't want peace? We all do. Inner peace, outer peace, peace in the world, peace with our neighbors, peace with our co-workers. Peace, peace, peace. I love it. Archangel Shamuel. Peace comes from remembering only love is real. So love yourself first. That's my motto. If you love yourself, it radiates to everybody and everything that you do. You got to do that mirror work. You got to look in that mirror and you got to fall in love with that person in the mirror. They don't teach you that in school either. Let's see what else we got here. Ah, This is for the people, for clairaudience. In other words, they hear from their angels or their spirit guides. And this is Archangel Zadkiel. Notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. Sometimes it's just a word that can trigger a new goal or a new direction or research. I love it. Like sometimes I'll be having a conversation with somebody and we'll be talking about different subject matters or whatever. Like I was talking with Tiffany about herbs and stuff. And it fascinates me. And I hear something that I didn't hear before. I want to go research it. And that's what makes us so unique is we should never stop learning it ever, ever. You know, it's funny. I was brought to mind here about when this came up when my daughter was little and she would be doing her homework. And it was a particular reading thing. And she'd come up, what does this word mean, Mom? And I go, let's grab the dictionary. And I would have her grab the dictionary and look up the word. And that's kind of like life. If we don't know something or we want to learn and grow, let's research. God, we have all the tools now. Oh, I love this card. Sensitivity. You know, a lot of people that first meet me, they think I'm a tough cookie or I'm, really, really strong or whatever. They have no clue because this is just the outer existence of the road I've traveled. Okay. But sensitivity, I am sensitive. My feelings can get just as hurt, but a lot of people say I could say anything to her. Nothing's going to affect her. Okay. We're all sensitive, sweetheart. Oh, here we go. Archangel Leo. You are extra sensitive to energies, emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. Oh, Carol says, thank you so much. Yeah, I am. Okay. All right. That's awesome. Let's see what else we got here for our time allotted. I love doing this. Oh, chakra clearing. This is good. I was just doing this myself this week since I was under the weather. I go, okay, time to clear those chakras. And you start with counterclockwise and then clockwise and work your way up to your crown chakra. And it's really good when you take a shower of really cleansing. You can do that just counterclockwise, clockwise, all the way up while you're doing the shower too. And then let all that negativity go down the drain of what you're dealing with. It's a wonderful thing. It's a good thing to try. Let's see what it says here. Oh. Call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes. So in other words, it'd be like a triangle, or if it comes to mind that it's a square or whatever, then that means it's a roadblock. But tuning into what you feel is very, very important. But chakra clearing is a great thing. And almost last but not least here, we've got angel therapy. I love that. Love it. Give your cares and your worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. Wow, what a perfect ending on that. We always say give it to God. Well, we all have guardian angels too. And I can think of many instances where my guardian angel saved me. Can you? Think about it. So I love being with each and every one of you. I hope you all have a fabulous week. Work on those goals. Get the pen and paper out. Have a great day, a great week. Mwah!
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show.